Good evening and welcome back to World Online Racing. We are back with another PC social race, and today we get ourselves over to the one and only. It's Yas Marina Abu Dhabi, the track of controversy over some seasons with its 5.281 kilometre long circuit, 16 turns and 2 DRS zones. But this is the kind of track where that first DRS zone you might want to stay behind because it comes straight back at you out of a chicane in the second sector. So things can get a little bit spicy and a little bit dicey, but as they get down into turn 9 for sector 3 starting, things can heat up. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me in the booth for the first time making his debut on the social race. It's Ryan Haran. How are we doing, my friend? Haran, sorry.
Oren, yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, just got everything to work.
Absolutely, running on a backup
very
PC.
Excited. Yeah, so if it's a bit choppy, that's why. It's my old PC that's bottlenecking. So
Yeah, absolutely. He's main PC having a couple of little issues early on, but we managed to get him set up on his old PC, get everything running. The camera may be a little bit choppy and a little bit unsmooth, but he is here to make the debut and get going for Abu Dhabi. I love it around here. Things can get spicy and dicey in Sector 2, like I said earlier on. This is where things get interesting. What are the tyre strategies going to be? We've seen drivers start on the mediums, jump straight onto hards, and the hards do some monumental laps in that previous game on F1 24. But in this game, what is going to happen? It's a little bit different handling. Will we see drivers like Leo London Rapassa fighting it out back again for the top? Maybe even see Sabrina, maybe even see the likes of Cameron Dowds get back into the mix. It's all up in the air here as we go into this social race. No championship on the line. It's all for glory, all for the sake of I've won this social race. I'm faster than you lot. That's all we can say. But I'm excited to get going here in Yas Marina. It's one of my favourite tracks, not for more of the racing side of things, but also to drive. I quite like it.
I think this circuit does bring a lot of different strategies around. I've done plenty of racing here. I think with the new tyre wear on F1 25, we could see some drivers even trying to make the two-stop. I know at circuits like Sakhir, obviously Monaco it's forced, but like as I say, Sakhir, Imola it's quite high. We could see the two-stop strategy at Abu Dhabi. I've not driven it yet on this edition of the game, but I know from 24, it's not as dull as people say it is.
No, absolutely not. We are about to get going for qualifying. 18 minutes with no restart in between. So that's enough from us in the commentary booth. We're going to get you trackside to see who's got what it takes to take the top spot before we get going for the Grand Prix. So don't let us keep you waiting any longer. Qualifying's beginning. We are now trackside and there's drivers already taking it to the tarmac. We have the likes of JST with the Red Bull ahead, Riccardo Benzoni. He's one to watch out for. Could potentially be a contender for pole position, if not a contender for the race victor. Look at that, smashing the brake boards early on. Is Benzoni. Is that some form of tactic going into this qualifying session? They will not come back until the Grand Prix, until the session goes through that little bit of a back to the pits, set your tyres and fuel and get ready to go for the Grand Prix.
I'm not sure it's a tactic. I remember it from 24, where the actual optimal racing line here is obstructed by the brake boards. So the drivers at the minute will be braking them so that they can take their racing lines without being obstructed, taking all the bollards out of the way as well. I know when you were doing your sort of laps before to get a feel of the circuit, you said the bollards are in the way, and that's just because they are. The track, unfortunately, not been designed as well as others.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So the driver's trying to get the optimum line as Riccardo Benzoni will be the first driver to set that time. We'll go on board to see how he fares across these apexes. He's either trying to use the track limits, not running too wide out though, keeping his car firmly halfway over and cutting that apex as much as possible, trying to make use of the track limits. That's where the time is before he slams on the brakes. He's finished sector 1, gets around turn 5 and we'll get that rear wing open for the first time. Now, as we go into the Grand Prix again, down towards 6 and 7, it could favour you to be behind, to sit behind and wait for that second dose of DRS and overtake going into turn 9, or if you can make it with the speed, burn a bit of the battery, overtake before you get to that left-hander at turn 9. Benzoni is looking very, very comfortable here though into Abu Dhabi as he does get out of that turn 7 chicane around turn 8. That rear wing is wide open before he needs to fire around the left-hander. High speeds really trying to get that car rotated round before he's quick on the power once again. Out of the way goes the Haas driver, getting out. That could be Patrick back there as Leo Lundy's on his lap, the second Haas driver. Another driver to watch out for pole position, or if not, a race victor later on as we get going into the race.
Yeah, so we've got Riccardo Benzoni now coming up to the line on this flying lap, rounding the final corner and getting right up on the edge of that curve. We saw Verstappen almost drop it last season, and it's a 1:21.7 for Riccardo Benzoni, a strong lap to kick us off here. The Ferrari behind him had invalidated. We've actually got the Mercedes of Andre Molnar now, who sets a 1:21.6. They're about 27 milliseconds ahead of the Red Bull now, as the times are coming in as well from the McLaren and the Alpine behind.
Currently on board with Ryan Grob as he's coming out of the final turn. Will power down towards the line in that kick. Sauber goes up to P6, slowest of the lot so far, but not by a lot.
No, it's not a lot in it at all. We have Richard Sprogis now up to the line, who goes on to provisional pole with a 1:21.575. And next up, we've got the Aston Martin of Joe Murphy just finished his lap to go P4 with a 1:21.763. The time's so close together here as Kedon Lut goes up to second position with a 1:21.6. The Haas of Leo Lund has just crossed the line with a 1:21.7 to go P5.
Currently on board.
And we've got more times coming in.
He's going to cross the line. Is he up there? It's a 21.8, so he does get up there to P10. Zalan Bieda, slowest of the lot so far, 22. Just outside of that 21 time where everybody's sitting a little bit more comfortably. Who's next to cross the line? Is it anybody? Could it be Tom Roberts? He does cross the line, but that is an invalidation, or maybe starting a lap, did a double out lap. That could also be on the cards. Ryan Modler into the pits, not happy with his lap. Rapassa also sat there in the pits as JST is invalidated and will dive into the pit lane also, followed in by Sergio Sabrino.
It's unfortunate, all the little clan things at the start of the names, I can't actually see anybody's full name.
It's not Sabrino who followed him, I apologise. It was Lewis. We are on board with Sabrino, who is going to set a timed lap. Driver to watch out for purple sector 2, but it's invalid just a little bit too early on the turn in for turn 9 and just runs it outside of those white lines. He will ultimately come back to the pit, slap on some fresh rubber and get himself through. Oh, I just noticed particles are on. Ooh, I'm going to have to get that turned off as soon as possible.
I just noticed as well that Sabrino had drained his ERS down to where he was at only 5% coming out of turn 9 and still with an entire sector to go. I don't think he'd managed his battery that well on that lap. Not using it for finishing the lap as well, and he was still only on about 11 crossing the line. So maybe just a bit of a testing lap for Sabrino, as I think we've got one of the Williams coming over the line. No, into the pit lane goes Abderrazak.
Yeah, Patrick also following through. Everybody going back into the pit lane. Sergio Sabrino, is he on a push lap? I expected him to go into the pits after that invalidation, but he's carried on and pushing on. Maybe has the fuel to go one more time. He's certainly going to try and set that lap. I wonder if
he's
two
got the
laps are the way to go here. I wonder if that's the way to go. 2 laps, warm-up lap, and then push lap.
He's got the fuel warning, and he's at 0% battery. He started the lap at 16% coming out of turn 1. So I'm not sure if this is going to be anything close to a representative time. I imagine it'll be closer to a 1:23, potentially a mid-22 at best, but it looks like he's charging the battery at the minute.
Yeah, he'll be going into the pit. So he still set the time, albeit it was invalid, just to see what sort of benchmark he would have been setting. He would have looked at that top right corner of your screen to see that lap time as he crossed over. Although it was invalid and deleted, he knows where his relative pace is. He knows what he can do on that banker lap. So he comes in now. Anybody else to go out on the track? It's Riccardo Benzoni, who started another timed lap.
Actually, we do have Luca Rapassa, who's on a flying lap, going down the straight now in towards turn 6. Started his lap just before Sabrino came into the pit lane. We're coming out of the chicane now. 3rd gear, accelerating, keeping as far to the inside as he can, maximising the speed and keeping it as short as possible. Opening up turn 9. You can either take a tight line or a wide line. And he seems to have kept it pretty close to the apex the whole way round. And now into the hotel section, the braking zone of turn 12. He's drained his battery all the way down already, but this slow section does allow you to recover it, holding it in 4th gear the whole way up to the white line on the exit, where, yes, you can invalidate, despite how close it looks to the wall. And now through the final 2 corners, up to the line, battery deployed, and it's a 1:21.5 for Luca Rapassa.
Pole position on his first time lap. Rapassa showing he's still got what it takes as he goes into this new game cycle. He has took victories on that F124 game. He was a contender fighting away with a lot of drivers. It's Leo Lund who he was fighting with. But can Leo Lund claw back in this qualifying? 2 tenths away from his old rival as Rapassa leads the charge in qualifying.
Riccardo Benzoni just completed his lap. He gained 92 milliseconds and has gone perfectly even with his teammate Kedon Lutz. So they're both on the exact same time here, and I think that does just show how close it's going to be.
Kedon Lutz certainly has some improvement to come, I believe. He's still sat in the pits waiting for that last time, saving a set of tyres. Let's not forget there's no restart like you would have seen in the F124 game. We're going straight out of qualifying, straight into the Grand Prix. So tyre saving is a must, just in case you need those soft tyres for a final few laps for a late potential safety car. It could still be all up in the air, as Andrea Molnar did just go quickest. Luca Rapassa, he's looking to respond when he gets back into the pits and puts on some fresh rubber. He's only done 1 lap so far, so he does have another fresh set, while also saving a set for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, so a brilliant lap there from Andre, first driver into the 1:21.4s. And there's another one who sets the exact same time, Corey.
Oh, wow. Tommaso Kenny take a bow, but Molnar taking that time first. He's up there. Wow, that's what you love to see it. That's 2 identical times in this qualifying session. Kedon Lutz, Riccardo Benzoni, a 21.608. Andre Molnar, Tommaso Kenny for Paul with a 21.469. Wow, you just can't write it. But we still have plenty of time to go for them to get another run in. Who is the likely contender for pole position? I've still got to put it out there for Rapassa. He's still one to watch for pole position.
We've got Ryan Modler, who has just set a lap to go 11th with a 1:21.8. I think one of the Aston Martins, I think that was Tom Roberts, has just gone faster as well, as Kedon Lutz starts his lap in the Red Bull. Kedon, although he's broken his front wing. Has he? Oh no, that's just my graphics.
Oh, visual bug. Well, we are... Yep. I'm on board with Patrick as he's coming around the final sector. Is this a lap time? Is this going to be improvement to get himself in that top 10? He comes around the final turn. What has he got? Burn it all. What's left in the tank? Crosses the line. It's just for P10 as he goes ahead of Joe Murphy, 21.753. Is there anything more you can do to try and claw back some time? That's 3 laps for Patrick.
Sabrino has just gone to P12 with a 1:21.7. So one of your favourites for pole. Joe Murphy 4th. Richard's now up to 3rd. We've got the Sauber of Cameron up to the line. That was the wrong Sauber. But here's Cameron, and he's slowed down. He's backed off his lap.
Daniel Gottschalk out of the final turn. Oh no, into the pits he goes. Nobody else to cross the line. Anybody else? Any takers? And the Red Bull going for it that's from Benzoni on his outlap. So
Benzoni on his outlap. We've got, I think it's Leo Lund. Leo Lund coming up to the line, and he just about kept it within the white lines, and he set the exact same time as Richard Strogis. So we've got the top 4 in this session separated by 2 milliseconds.
Oh my word. Oh my word. You cannot make this up. 2 thousandths of a second separating the potential for 4 drivers to be on pole position. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Leo Lund and Sprogis are going to be kicking themselves if they didn't get those 2 thousandths of a second. It's so close. It's minute by a hair's width of time for pole position. I'm flabbergasted. I'm at a loss for words.
It's so close. It's so crazy to see, I do all my racing in like much lower bits where there's sometimes a 2-second field spread, even more on occasion. So we've got most of the grid separated by 5/10, and then we do have the Williams of Abderrazak. I can't see his surname, but I don't think he's set a representative time yet, or if he has, he's unfortunately not on the pace. But we do have Keydon Lutt now coming up to the... Oh no, he's backed off that lap and come into the pits.
On board with Riccardo Benzoni. He is burning. He's a 10th up on his time. Could he be challenging for pole? He is coming into sector 3 now. Around turn 9 we go before he needs to keep it flat to the floor all the way around 10 and 11. And then on the brakes as late as you possibly can. Flick it round to the right, back around to the left. Go underneath the bridge and make sure you don't run it wide and clip that outside wall. He does well, does Benzoni, as he's only got 2 turns to go. Can he gain another 10th to challenge for pole position? Could it be a Red Bull on the top, maximising track limits, crosses the line, and there it is! By just over 0.5 of a second, Benzoni sets a new pole position time.
Yeah, so Benzoni going fastest, and Rapassa was actually completing his lap just in front, and he was up on his time, but unfortunately had a massive tank slapper in the final corner. He was almost perpendicular to the wall, and managed to catch it, and was only 200ths down even after that. So I think he would have been up there with Benzoni had he got the lap. And I see they're now cutting the track to make it back in time for the next part of, or to get another lap in, really, isn't it? We're only 3.5 mints left.
There's surely plenty of time for these lads to get themselves in and back out. Well, we do see that Abderrazak, I'm just going to call him Zach, or Abda, to make it easy, because that's going to absolutely baffle me. He's on his out lap. He's going to be the first to bring us another let of times. He's left himself plenty of time for an invalidation to go again. So what will the FIA driver have to offer as he's rocking those Williams colours? Not the fastest of drivers so far, 4 tenths off the pace.
No. Yeah, so he's 4 tenths off of Zalan, who's in P19 at the minute. Hopefully, for competition's sake, he can get closer. I mean, we're seeing how close it is at the top. At the bottom, it is fanning out. I mean, saying that, P14 to P18 is separated by about half a tenth. So...
chat has confirmed this is Tomas Lamanen. Well, hello, Lamanen.
Who is Abderrazak?
Yes, this is Tomas Lamanen. Yes.
Ah, right, okay. I was very confused.
yeah, this is Tomas Lamanen. Sometimes the drivers like to fool us. At one point, I was commentating over somebody who was called Grandpa, and it turned out it was somebody else in an FBR team. It was quite confusing, but he was called Grandpa at one point. Apparently, that's his nickname. But we are on board with Tomas Lamanen, as he's just got rid of turn 1, comes around 2 and 3. And back around number 4, down towards turn 5, finishes sector 1. Is there an improvement on time? Just over half a tenth improvement. Oh, locks the rear, sends it for a drift around turn 5. That traffic doing him no favour. Then his grandpa's Max Weasel. There you go. Whistle. Max Whistle. Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember that. I remember somebody being called Grandpa, and it used to confuse me. But it's his nickname. I remember that.
I think Tomas there just a bit caught out by the traffic, and he was trying to make up time. It did look like the McLaren was quite in the way on the entry, got out of the way at the last second, but Lamanen now just going to want to cool down his tyres, get the battery back up to as close to 100 as possible, if not 100. But that's not what he needed whilst trying to improve and catch what in this level of competition is a big gap just to be P19.
Absolutely, we're on board with Keydon Lutt. He's going to be the next driver to set a time, as I'm sure that what happened to Tomas Lamanen will ultimately let him back out of his lap, recharge the battery, go again. He left plenty of time to do so, so maybe we should see a time improvement yet to come for Tomas Lamanen, but we're still on board with Keydon Lutt. He's up on his time, but just by over half a tenth as he comes around turn 9. As no, Tomas Lamanen has retired. He's done with quali. He's going to start from the back.
So unfortunate for Lamanen, but it's the issue with traffic, isn't it? In circuits like this, where it is surprisingly narrow at points. You think it's quite wide, but that's all just run off. And Keydon Lutt now up to the line. How much is he able to improve? Is it to pole? No! He's down on his time. So it's P8 at best for Keaton Lutz.
It is indeed. Ryan Modler next. Where's Ryan going to slap that Mercedes? Can he improve? He was down as I jumped on board with him. Can he pull anything back in the final 2 turns? Coming out of that final turn 16. Oh, more! Burley keeping it in the white lines. Burley improves on his delta time. Across the line goes Daniel Gottschalk for no improvement. Next is the Ferrari JST, no improvement. Another one, Lewis does jump up to P11. And finally, we have Patrick to come over, jumps up to P9. Another V-carb coming towards the line. Zalan Bieda does not improve. Nobody's finding the time. They're all struggling. Ryan Grob is invalid.
Zalan went to P12.
Oh, Zalan did go to P12, sorry, he did improve. Yeah. I was looking at Gottschalk, my apologies. Zalan's up to P12. Cameron Dowds to cross the line, it stays in P12, up to P10. Andre Molnar, new pole time, challenging for it. Can Riccardo Benzoni do anything about it? He's in sector 3 now, coming underneath the little tunnel, and he's only got a few corners to go. Is he up on the delta time? Is it enough to challenge for it? It's only a few thousandths he needs to guarantee that front spot as he comes out of the final turn with a bit of a spin on the rear end, and he did not improve. Sabrino's up to 3rd, Tom Roberts in 4th, Cole Kenny's in 5th, Riyad Sprogis is 6th, but he is in the pits. Leo Lund did not improve, and Rapassa is in 8th. That will do it for qualifying. Keaton Lott in 10th. Wow, that was a big mix in the order.
I think Sprogis, Lund and Murphy all invalidated because they all went into the pits in a row. It looked like the Aston Martin was going quite slow, and then the Haas came up to the back. So I'm not sure if the Aston coming into the pits invalidated Leo Lund, but the result was none of those 3 managed to get a lap in. Same with Thomas Lamminen, but yeah, so 4 drivers not getting their final laps, and it's Andre Molnar on pole.
Absolutely. I was just getting that done nice and quickly. I apologise for that. Everybody who's seen me turning particles off, I was getting that out of the way while we get into the lobby restart. So when we go into the Grand Prix, we're not going to see tyre smoke going into turn 1. So there we have it. Andre Molnar with pole by 13 thousandths of a second. Benzoni just falling short. Sergio Sabrino with a last lap come back to the second row with Tom Roberts, Cole Kenny, Riyad Sprogis, Leo Lund, Rapassa, Joe Murphy and Keaton Lott doing the top 10. Just outside of that, Patrick, Cameron Dowds, Alan Bieda, Lewis, Ryan Modler, Ryan Grob, Joe Marquardt, JST, Daniel Gottschalk and Thomas Lamminen. Can Lamminen do a last to first? Is it to be or not to be? Well, now we get ourselves ready for what is to be the Grand Prix here in Yas Marina. Oh, excited. This is where things are going to get interesting. It's not dark yet. It's going to go darker as the race progresses, but it's looking a little bit overcast, a little bit cloudy. Now, we had a conversation before the race, didn't we, Ryan, about whether it may potentially rain, and looking at that sky, it's not exactly sunny.
No, I mean, I've only seen rain in a league race at Abu Dhabi once myself and another time on a TM at Marduk video. And that's only 2 times ever. So, and I've raced this circuit probably the most of any. I doubt it's going to happen. Well, I highly doubt it.
Yeah, just a little bit of overcast could play a factor on tyre temperatures into the Grand Prix start. But the drivers now changing their setups. Parc Fermé is off, so they can swap the setups from a qualifying setup to a race setup. Now, what is the tyre strategies to go in for? Will they start mediums? Will they start hards? Will they go for a 1-stop? Or will somebody risk it for a 2-stop? You know, the tyre wear on this game, as we know, is a lot higher. And with the way these drivers push the car, it's certainly a lot higher in aspects relative to a pace I could pull out. Now, this does beg the question, would the 1-stop work? I mean, certainly it depends on how the hard tyres will fare around the circuit in the later stint.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw that with the Canadian Grand Prix yesterday. But 2-stop was obviously... Oh, that's not good.
Disconnects, needs to get himself back in before we go to green flags.
You can't take control of the car until the green flags. Here's the lights, Murray.
We are 4, 5 lights. We are ready to rock and roll here in Abu Dhabi. It's lights out and away we go. It's a good getaway from your front runner. Andre Molnar gets away well, and Tom Roberts straight up into P2. Jumps ahead of Sabrino. Jumps ahead of everybody else. Leo Lund jumping up into P4 as well. Rapassa's up into P5. These two go neck and neck, toe to toe. What a start for these two. And as we expected, Riccardo Benzoni Benzoni's dropped all the way to the rear of the field as they go 2 by 2 by 2 coming around turn 5. Everybody trying to make the moves early on, trying to get the opportunistic move and pull ahead of their rivals, get the position before you need to try and extend these tyres and extend your stint. What is the tyre strategy going to be? Back of the field, drivers trying to make moves, late on the brakes as we go diving into the chicane.
Oh.
Contact with the Haas driver and Leo Lund. Is that carbon that I saw flying? Is there damage for some drivers? I'm not seeing a loss of any part of the wing so far as we're watching the drivers come up towards turn 9, and so far it's Andre Mona. He's bridged himself a bit of a breathing space gap and Benzoni gets himself back in, but he's at the back of the grid. Tomas Lamanen's had a good start. He's up 2 positions so far. Cameron Dowd's going side by side with Rihard Sprogis. Can Rihard Sprogis defend it and pull off and keep that P6? He squeezes in wide. There's huge contact and Sprogis is sent spinning before we get up and around turns 13 and 14. Down into turn 12. Unfortunate contact. Rihard Sprogis down to P18. Fighting away with Lewis trying to maintain or pull back, salvage whatever he can from that ultimate spin. Andre Mona very comfortable out in front, and Tom Roberts bridging a bit of a gap to Sabrino as well.
So yeah, that opening lap, a lot of contact. You mentioned Leo Lund making contact, and he did get away with it. He's got no damage, but his teammate is not as fortunate. Unfortunately, Patrick has picked up front wing damage and lost his front left end play. As we see moves into turn 6 as well. We've got Tamas Kirkney going for the move on Keaton Lutt. So Tamas up into P8. And we've got Ryan Murdler going for the move on the McLaren driver. Keaton and Tamas going side by side again, though, into turn 6. The Red Bull has the inside line. Is he able to make the move stick? And I don't think he is, unless he's gone for a switchback move.
He's going for it. He's looking for it around the outside. Can he pull it off? I'm not entirely sure. It's a beautiful move here from Keaton Lutt. If he can make it stick, he's defending it like he's got his gun to his head, is Kenny. He's not letting it go easy. He's going to fight it all the way through, and Kenny did keep it. Wow. Oh, no. The Red Bull's fighting it back. Keaton Lutt. Wow. He's not letting that one get away from him.
Yeah, Keaton Lutt providing some brilliant entertainment here. I'm just looking at who our biggest losers are at the minute. Sprogis obviously down the order after a spin, and Ricardo and Patrick. It's not fair to really say any of those, but we've got Tamas Kirkney, who is down to P8. He's dropped 3 positions. And we've got Daniel Gottschalk, who's up to P12 from P19. So Daniel with a brilliant start in the RB as Joel Marquardt has pitted early on here. I'm just monitoring. I don't think there was a wing change there, but I'll just check the race director and see.
I wonder if there was the chance for the wing change, and maybe he's just not set it in the MFD. It's questionable to box early on. I think he started on the softs. He did 1 lap on the softs. He was the driver to start on softs. He has boxed, swapped onto the hard compounded tyres, looking to go long now. So maybe the 2-stop for Joel Marquardt, he's going to really try and extend and then have that medium compounded tyre for the final stint. There's a 1-second gap now from Kenny to Cameron Dowds. Can he pull himself back into the DRS? Kenny's going to really try and push it now as we get going into Sector 3. He just needs to try and claw within that 9/10 gap, so he's got it as a defensive aid if Keaton Lutt was to get a little bit closer and to try and challenge for that position on Kenny. So everybody now just settling into a bit of a rhythm, just trying to keep it calm. There's a lot of race to run.
There was a moment for a second where Sergio Sabrino went very wide through turn 9, and Leo Lund looked like he was going to go for the move down the inside. But it was, as I said in qualifying, you can take a wide line and you can take a narrow line, and they did perfectly contrast each other in that moment. So they came out of the corner the exact same without losing any pace as far as it looked. There's Rapasa down the inside on Leo Lund for P4. What a dive. That's going to compromise the Swede, as now Joe Murphy is potentially going to get involved with this fight. I think Rapasa has slightly compromised his exits to go for the move on the entry. I don't know if Leo Lund's going to go for a move down the inside. Oh, I think he backs out of it.
Oh, no, there's contact! I saw a carbon fly.
Oh, big crack! Oh, that's the Ferrari. His wheel hooked.
Oh, my word! Ruka Rapassi sent over the top of the Haas of Patrick. A huge contact sent straight over the halo, and we are under full safety car. What has just happened? That was absolutely insane. I jumped on board with a Ferrari after I saw the tyre lock between the two, and Rapassa's just been sent straight into the outside wall, coming out of turn 7 and sent flying over the top of the Hassa Patrick. That was absolutely insane.
It wasn't Patrick, it was Leo Lund.
Was it Leo Lund?
Yeah, Leo Lund and Rapassa wheel hooked. Then the Saubers of, I think it was Cameron and the Aston Martin of, I want to say Joe Murphy got caught up in it. But Rapassa wheel hooked with Rapassa and, Lund wheel hooked with Rapassa. And Lund just drove him straight into the wall on the exit.
Oh my word. That was absolutely crazy. Luca Rapassa, one of the drivers that I was looking at as a contender for victory, has been sent on a holiday because he caught a flight. That's all I can say on that one.
I think it's probably best not to speak into it too much, given certainly how it looked at points. We've actually got is Thomas Cockney and Riccardo Benzoni who haven't pitted. So Riccardo has gone from second to last to second in 5 laps.
That is insane stuff. Tommaso Kenny, I think, has stayed out and has chose not to box with Riccardo Benzoni. 4 lap hold on those mediums. Everybody else swapping to high compounded tyre. Joe Murphy going for another medium stint. And Joe Marquardt back onto the softs. Very brave of the McLaren driver, but he's got nothing left to lose. Back of the grid. Why not throw a curveball in there?
Certainly interesting. He'll definitely make his way up the field, but it's just a matter of keeping your nose clean whilst doing it. I mean, we've seen, of course, the Sauber spinning, the Ferrari out with a Haas also in the wall. Who was it as well? Was it the Williams of Richard Sprogis spinning on lap 1? So they're certainly not making it easy to overtake around here.
Oh no, they'll never make it easy. But do you know that I've just seen in the chat from Bobby why they always beefing? You know, I've got to vouch for that. Rapassa and Leo Lund. I said this before the stream, didn't I? I was telling you drivers to watch out for Rapassa and Leo Lund to go neck and neck for victory, to fight it out. And there you have it, Rapassa and Lund coming together. Crazy.
Thomas is in the pits.
He is indeed. He's going to swap for those high compounded tyres. He is indeed. Riccardo Benzoni now will leave the safety car. So, I mean, Kilkenny going for 1 lap fresher tyres over the rest of the grid. Is this going to be a push to the end? 23 laps. I mean, we've seen it done in F1 24, but the tyre degradation on this game is a lot higher. Seen it for myself. I played a lot of this game. I quite enjoyed this game. I can openly say F1 24 did not enjoy, didn't drive a lot, did more commentary than I did driving. But this game, I spent a lot of time behind the wheel, and I quite enjoy this game. But the tyre degradation is high. It is a factor, so strategies are massive, especially in a social race. If you want to win, you've got to use that brain of yours. You've got to have the high IQ strategies coming into play.
I mean, there's people, isn't there, who say social races, oh, they're not proper league races, but when it's this competitive, anything matters. So,
yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that we're seeing fighting, you know, like in the esports finale. Maybe not as bad, maybe not as crazy as that, but they're leaving no margin for error here, and when there is error, it is quite costly, as we did just see. Error coming out of turn 7 and through turn 8, and we've got a car out of the race and 2 other cars that have been pushed to the back.
Yeah, scenes, absolute scenes, crazy business, drama. But what is a WOR race without its fair share of drama? And of course, 2 drivers that are known for fighting each other, as you expect, but didn't expect it to end that way. I was hoping they'd fight it out for the win, but here we go. This has allowed Leo Lund to try and do something to fight back. He's one of his current rivals or previous rivals. He's not there to challenge him, but I've got to say, Andre Molnar looking strongest to win here.
Yeah, Andre Molnar has he's essentially still leading the race. If you think about the fact that Ricciardo still needs to pit. Tom Roberts as well, he was on the back of Andre the whole time, as I think Thomas is coming into the pits again.
Oh, what is the strategy here? Let's have a look at what tyres you're going on. So he's coming off the hard compounds. And he swapped on... Is he swapping onto another set of hards? Does he have
Yeah.
another set of hards? He does. So, he has gone for the harder compound strategy. He has 2 sets of hard tyres to use. Smart thinking with how the tyre degradation is on this game. So he has given himself that option. But he is at the back of the grid now, and he has the freshest tyres out of everybody. Is that where you want to be, though?
I mean, we've seen how difficult it is for cars to get past at the minute with how tight the DRS train is. I mean, there won't be DRS, of course, for the first lap of battling, so maybe you can make some inroads there. But I'm also not sure on this game at how big the offset is in terms of pace. I know it was quite big last game, but I'm not sure about it on 25. I think a driver to watch for sure is Joe Murphy, the only driver who has pitted who is on the mediums. He will certainly be making up pace here.
Yeah, certainly on the restart. If none of these drivers at the front have adequately heated those hard combat tyres, they'll be caught out by Tom Roberts with a little mid-race charge. There is the call. The safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We can get ourselves ready to go racing once again. We shall get under green flags. Riccardo Benzoni will take us away with the race restart. He has not pitted yet, running on 7-lap-old mediums when we get going once again on this restart. Andrea Molnar should make light work of this, but needs to be careful from Tom Roberts behind being on those medium tyres. Fresh medium tyres as he put them on as under the safety car. But everybody slows it down, gets themselves ready, and Ryan, you can take us away with the restart. Give you a nice little opening lap. Yeah. Some opening carnage.
So Benzoni controlling the pace now. He knows he needs to get the jump. He's got older tyres. They're perhaps, though, being a softer compound, going to be better heated. He's not gone yet. It looked like he might have gone, but I think that was just the angle that I got. It's now going around the final corner. I think he's chosen to go now. Has he managed to catch Andre Molnar napping a bit? Not massively, but away we go. Green flag running again, and the Red Bull leads the Mercedes after the safety car in Abu Dhabi. And now Molnar is going to be all over the back of the Red Bull. We got a Ferrari off. That's JS Tree, who's gone off on the exit of turn 1. Molnar, is he going to go for the move into turn 5? Yes, he is. Andre Molnar up into the lead of the race. But is Riccardo Benzoni going to manage to get the switch back? There's no DRS on this lap, so it's going to be more flat-out engine power all the way down into turn 6. Is Benzoni's going to have that inside line? We've also got the Aston and the Alpine scrapping behind as the race leader changes once again. Molnar's pushed off onto the curbs, and through comes Tom Roberts. Is he going to take the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here? No, he's tucking in behind the Red Bull. He's going to pull to the outside. Is he going to make the move around the outside? Is he going to become the inside? No, hanging out onto the curb. Has the inside line into the hotel section. Is he going to push the Red Bull wide? No, has marginal room on the inside. We've got the Mercedes and the Alpine going side by side as well. Molnar, who had fallen down to 4th, now finds himself back up into 3rd.
A bit of a side-by-side moment with a couple of drivers in that mid-pack back end of the points, trying to keep it together, trying to scrap away. It's Ryan Grob almost side-by-side with Tomas Lamanen from behind. Lamanen making massive places from the race so far after he did qualify at the back of the grid, not able to get a good lap in time. And retired early on with an invalidation in qualifying, but he's up into P10 in the points and looking to challenge Ryan Grob for that P9. But we'll look back at the front of the pack as Andrea Molnar, he's had to defend, he's running a little bit wide open, the door for Sabrino. Sergio Sabrino is going to say thank you very much and get himself slotted alongside that Mercedes. Rear wing are open for both these drivers as we see Tom Roberts trying to make the move with the DRS. Sergio Sabrino looking for the overspeed. Can he make himself known in this fight and slip on through for P2? Not quite yet. Riccardo Benzoni able to defend it once again. Sabrino's looking for a switchback. Can he go around the outside? Not yet. Riccardo Benzoni doing very, very well to defend it. Oh, here we go. Almost a 3-wide moment. Molnar, huge contact with Benzoni, sent into a spin and into a ghosted state. Drops down to P8 behind his Mercedes teammate. That is unfortunate for Molnar. He was looking very, very quick on this safety car restart, challenging for the lead of the race. But it's Tom Roberts who will take it away, and with the tyre deficit can hopefully break away from Riccardo Benzoni and leave Sergio Sabrino out to dry.
That looked a silly move from Molnar. He already had Benzoni and Sobrino going side by side into turn 9, and he chucked it up the inside. I'm really not surprised there was contact there. But down to PA, maybe a bit of reflection to be done behind his teammate now. There was also quite a bit of contact between Gottschalk and Laminen for what was P10 at the time. Gottschalk sending it down the inside into turn 5, making contact with Ryan Grob as well and all that. So it's a big fight for the lower end of the points as Joel Marquardt is getting past Patrick.
Is indeed.
Yeah.
Leo Lund also getting past Joe Murphy. They were scrapping away. DRS makes it easy. Ricardo Benzoni then to third. Sobrino looking to try and chase up Tom Roberts. He's got that rear wing open now. Can he break down that time gap? Sergio Sobrino got through easy with the DRS. The tyres are not serving Benzoni well. He now may have to defend against his Red Bull counterpart. To the inside goes Keaton Lott, and it's easy pickings. He's got the better traction. He's got the better tyres. It's a little bit of a rear end wobble for Benzoni, and he does slot back in behind. Keaton Lott up into P3. Benzoni may want to think about boxing soon. These tyres are just slipping away, and the hards are going to eat him up quickly.
He needs to try and make it to an adequate pit window where either these guys are also going to pit again, or where he has enough time to maybe catch them back up. But with the pace that they're showing, I'm not too sure. As we've got Leo Lund trying to make a move on Cameron. I'm not sure. He ghosted inside him for a second. I think a bit of desync at that point. But Leo Lund struggling to get past. Rapassa's rejoining and reconnecting and all that. But we do have Zalan as well, who's potentially going to go for a move. It looked like he might be sizing up Ricardo Benzoni as Lewis Blorum goes for a move on Joel Marquardt. Side by side, Zalan getting past Benzoni on the exit. I think Benzoni slipped up a bit on the traction with those older tyres. They've not got as much in them anymore. Down the inside of Cameron goes Leo Lund for P13. Only P13, of course, when these two were, I think, P3 and 4 before the crash. So, got both Hasses making moves, and Leo Lund is up at... that's not a Haas, that's a V-Carb. Jeez, they look very similar. But Leo Lund getting past Cameron now. And we've actually got Richard Sprogis going for the move on Benzoni. Side by side into the hotel. There's contact. They're both forced wide. And I think Richard has just managed to get past there as Sobrino gets past Tom Roberts for the lead. Tom Roberts also dropping...
Oh, Tom Roberts has dropped it. He's in the wall on the straight. That's front wing damage. Tom Roberts just a bit too heavy on the throttle. He's retired on the track. Oh, no, why do you do that? Please don't cause a safety car.
It doesn't do that anymore, funnily enough. It's not done that since 22.
Oh, thank God.
Retired cars causing safety cars. They have no impact on it.
Oh, well,
as of recent games.
Never mind, forget about that then. As we keep looking at the scraps, so is there anybody else looking to size up and move? Ryan Grob's getting a little bit close to the rear end of Tomas Laminen. That rear wing open, everybody looking for that overspeed. Ryan Grob's using that slipstream, he's looking for it. Can he go late on the brakes? No, he can't. He's trying to go to the outside. He'll make it the inside. Has he got a foot in the door? He bounces over the apex. But Tomas Laminen easy kept that position. Ryan Grob is looking to try and make moves early on. He's now compromised coming out of the chicane. Around the outside goes Gottschalk, but don't count out JST. He's trying to get involved in it. Almost contact between the two. And through goes Gottschalk. However you say, I do apologise on that. Gottschalk, there we go.
This has gone wide. Ryan Murdler had a snap going through turn 12 and got passed by Andre Molnar. So... I mean, kind of helps, doesn't it? Because I believe Molnar is the faster driver, and now, once again, sits behind Ricardo Benzoni. So it's almost like we're back to lap 8.
Everybody falling back into an order. Sergio Sabrino's looking comfortable out in front under no threat. There's a second gap from Benzone to Rihard Sprogis, so he's going to look to try and defend against Molnar, who's going to come quick and fast on those fresher tyres. The tyre deficit is certainly going to be felt by Benzone any time now, but again, like you say, he needs to get to that adequate window. How long can he push it as these cars come charging behind him? Here goes Molnar looking for the inside line. Easy done with DRS, could lose out to Ryan Modler as well. Just does not have the traction on the corner exit, and with the loss of DRS, 2 positions down.
We have the 3 different Ferrari-powered cars battling as well. Now Ryan Grob, JS3 and Leo Lund, they've all been fighting. And we've also got the Sauber of Cameron going for it. And they're very close, going towards the long left-hander of turn 9. Leo Lund on the outside of the Ferrari. The Sauber on the inside as well. They go side by side. Cameron's trying to make the move. They're going to go side by side into the hotel section here. And I think Leo Lund is going to dive down the inside of JS3. They're going side by side here. And Leo Lund just about unable to get past the Ferrari.
It's a JST. JS3.
What was I saying?
JS3. Tree.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you said it the first time. I thought, oh, he might pick it up the next time. No, you said it again. So, like, all right, okay, JST. Just can you speak God out in chat? That's God, he sounds funny. He sounds funny. I like it. But that was some good action from the back of the points there. Just trying to slip into that P10 position Ryan Grob is currently holding. Can they do anything to challenge for it? As Andre Molnar tries to claw back that 1.5 second gap that was made by Riccardo Benzone's tyre degradation. He's just slipping away now. He's not able to get it back. The DRS working wonders for the front 4. They're just slipping away. That gap opening up lap after lap.
I think now for Riccardo will be a good time to pit. It's just a bit longer on the hards than he's done on the mediums already. But I don't think he's going to be able to keep lambing him behind. As we've got to move for the lead. Keaton, look, going to move on Sergio Sabrino around the outside at turn 9. Is he going to make it stick? He gets the better acceleration on the exit, has the inside line into the hotel. And Keaton, look, manages to get up into first position here ahead of Sergio Sabrino.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Keaton Lutt showing that he has the pace to challenge. But I still need to keep an eye on what these strategies are going to be. They're going to have to box again. Can those hard tyres last? Can they go the distance? Tyre saving certainly is going to be a factor as Benzone drops another position. But though we have Andre Molnar. He's in the pits as well as Andre Molnar.
I was right.
Molnar's followed him.
Right. Now is the time that they pit. So Molnar pitting for, I assume, it's another set of hards. I was going to assume mediums. But Benzone also on the hards. So Benzone has picked the right time to pit. If this is when the 2 stoppers are thinking about it, Benzone is now properly back in this race. Although there is a 2.5 second gap from where the Mercedes were to the top 4, as Benzone just completely cuts the pit exit.
Undercut strategy. They're allowed to cut exit. They're allowed to cut exit.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. In WOR, and they're allowed to cut the exit to get back to the optimal racing line. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, no complaints. They are allowed to. I called that out when I first started commentating here, and I was also told that it's allowed. So yeah, it's your debut, your first time here, still adjusting, but yeah, no, that is fully allowed.
But look at the train going from, I think it's Ryan Merdler, all the way down to Patrick Dachmeyer in the Haas. That's probably 3/4 of the grid there. All within how much time? I'm going to figure that out.
Yeah, you can change the graphic. You can see it, but we do see some more drivers boxing for fresh tyres. I will pull the tyre graphic back up. We can see where everybody's going. Keaton Lutt still extending with Sabrino, Zalan Bieda, Rihard Sprogis, Ryan Grob, and Joe Marquardt all staying out. We have Tomas Laminen, Gottschalk, Cameron Dowds, JST, Leo Lund, Joe Murphy, all into the pits. Now, Dowds has gone for mediums. Interesting play here. At the end of this stint, those final closing laps, those tyres may feel a little bit crunchy, a little bit awkward, and a little bit dicey, as the hard compound tyre will have the better grip. They just will. Can you last these next 13 laps, Cameron? All eyes on you. This could be a strategy to play for what could be maybe even podium or race victory. I don't know. Molnar's got quite a gap though with Benzone. Can you try and claw your way back up? Keaton Sabrino still battling it out, still scrapping away.
Leo Lund picked up a penalty.
Oh, is that a pit lane infringement? No, 3 seconds.
I think no. It's the Abu Dhabi pit entry glitch that's been a thing since 23.
Ah.
It's still on this game. So that's my first complaint I've had with this game. As Ryan Modler actually pitted as well. I hadn't noticed that.
And he has just overtaken Benzone.
Yeah. It's Keaton Lutt and Zalan. Oh god. Zalan. But they're both pitted. So is Ryan Grob, Tamas Kirkney, and Lewis Blorum. Is it Blorum? I think it's Blorum.
I don't know Lewis's last name. Yeah. I've got to say. I don't. I apologise. I can't see it on screen.
It's Lewis Bloor.
Lewis Bloor.
That's it. Yeah. There's just an E missing, which really throws me off.
Lewis Bloor is also in the pits. We'll come out at the back of the field. We shall pull up the tyre graphic. You can see everybody, apart from the front four, have implemented a pit stop strategy and will be going at the distance the next 12 laps on this set of tyres. Now, there was a driver who boxed for hards twice under safety car. I can't remember who was that, called Kenny. So he has already...
Hammer.
Yeah, called Kenny. He's already worn in those hard compounded tyres. So... will that play a factor in the end?
I don't think so. It was not even a full lap under the safety car. We do have JST going for the move on Daniel in the V-carb now. Actually, nothing can come of it, but Cameron going for the move on Leo Lund, sorry. I think it's just managed to get ahead. Now goes for the move on JS3. Oh, damn it, I did it again. JST into the hotel section. Nothing comes of it. But Cameron managing to overtake Lund and then get back ahead as Sabrino pits as well now. And Andrea Molnar did set the fastest lap. Now Riccardo Benzone.
Yeah, Benzone taking that fastest lap away. There's no extra points for that, as we all know, going into the new season 25. They've taken away fastest lap point. How dare the FIA, making it a little bit boring. Always makes it a bit interesting with that extra fastest lap point. Could make the difference in a championship, but we look to the future of racing as Joe Marquardt is making a move on Patrick with the DRS to take P2 away. Riyad Sprogis, nice and comfortable, just under a 10-second lead. But these front three have yet to box.
I think Rihaz will need to do it sooner rather than later. I mean, there is a world where he holds on to this gap because he's got 15 seconds to Keaton Lutt, who is the first driver to have pitted.
So Dowds is fighting out with JST. They're still side by side as they came out of the exit of turn 7. And now up towards turn 9. Through goes Cameron Dowds, and the door's been opened for Leo Lund to make a lunge and get through on JST also. JST's dropping 2 positions, but his foot's still in the door. Here goes Leo Lund looking for an outside line move around Cameron Dowds. He's been squeezed out and pushed wide, and this has led JST to maybe retake that position, but he doesn't. He has to fall back in line as we come out of the hotel section. That was interesting. That was spicy. Leo Lund looking to move up positions. Ryan Modler now to set a new fastest lap of the race. 24.971. The time to beat if you want that fastest lap.
I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like Leo's racing the Ferraris harder than anyone else as he goes miles off the track there on the exit of turn 1. Lewis Bloor picking up a 3-second time penalty. Sabrino going for the move on Molnar. I think that was into turn 5. Yes, it was. Now trying to chase down Keaton and Zalan for P4 and 5. Patrick and Joel still not pitted, but that gap has come down by over 2 seconds within the last lap. So maybe not going to work out for them as Murphy gets past Rob into turn 6.
Cameron Dowds back in the scrap once again, looking for a switch back. He just couldn't get the traction down to fight against Daniel Gottschalk.
Gottschalk.
I keep getting that wrong. It's Oh, here we go. Cameron Dowds is going to try and switch around and does so on Tomas Lamminen. Wow, take a bow. What a move for Cameron Dowds. Those medium tyres are starting to work wonders for him. Making moves, making moves.
JST has dropped to P16 as Rihards is now pitting. So is Patrick as well. That's going to leave Joel Marquardt in the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I wonder where Rihards is going to come out. I think it will be between Benzoni and Daniel Gottschalk, potentially behind Gottschalk, depending on how the exits go here. I think he'll just about get ahead. Yes, he does. He actually takes the pit line, doesn't cut it. But Rihards in P8 on the mediums. Very similar to Ismail Fassi's strategy from the esports. Very similar.
Very indeed.
As Lamminen's getting past Leo Lund as well towards turn 6. Is Lund going to be able to hold the inside? No, he's not. He backs out.
Oh, there's a little bit of a scrap there. Leo Lund again. Tomas Lamminen side by side, but Leo Lund trying to get very close, so he'll benefit with the DRS. He's just not close enough to use that double Dawson slipstream. No point burning any of the battery unless you need to, as that gap is dropping and Joe Murphy's catching.
Murphy now right on the back of Lund after the crash before that sent them both to the back. Lund through picking up damage and Murphy through getting the double stack behind his teammate, who unfortunately now out of the race. So Aston Martin's race has really come undone from what was at one point P1 and 4.
Leo Lund is trying to damage limitation. What was a dramatic first stint, to say the least, for himself and Rapassa. He's just trying to damage limitate the rest of the race and claw back positions as much as he can. Looking back at the front, we have a battle between Marquardt and Keaton Lott. Keaton Lott goes for a send into turn 5. He does look like to have pulled that off. Will we see the potential of a switch back from Marquardt? Not quite yet. Who picks up the DRS at the detection point? That is Keaton Lott. That's smart racing. He's left Marquardt out to dry. Zelan Bieda's going to come down, and so is Sergio Sobrino. With no DRS, you just lose way too much speed. And Joe Marquardt from P1 down to P4.
I mean, was it really a question? I think on what, it's 11 lap older tyres, 11 or 12 laps older. He wasn't going to put up much of a fight to the front runners as well. As Sobrino has a look on Zelan Bieda there, but is unable to make a move. We have got Rihards and Riccardo Benzoni going side by side, and in fact Rihards got ahead fairly easily, it seemed, into turn 9. He's going to attack Ryan Merdler now as well. And into the
Leo Lund! Oh, big contact with Leo Lund and Tomas Lamminen. Leo Lund absolutely lunged for a move and completely spins out Lamminen. And he's now trying to defend like his life depends on it against all the cars behind who were coming at some speed to pass that slowing down Haas. That was dramatic. Leo Lund, whoa, calm it, mate.
And I think, yeah, that's Lamminen retiring from the race. Leo Lund picked up another penalty in that as well. Not sure if stuff gets investigated in these socials, but Leo Lund, it's been a bit dodgy, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've got a Flame throwing out a couple little puns. Leo Lund flopped the lunge. Absolutely, he did indeed. Rihard Sprog is fighting away with Ryan Modler. Gets on through nice and easy with that DRS. Modler not fighting too hard. We'll just sit behind and wait for his chance to claw back. As well as we see off the track goes Cameron Dowds as he's fighting away with Daniel Gottschalk.
Cameron Dowds.
Ooh.
Yeah. Joel Marquardt is... Oh, he's pulling over. He's just letting them through.
Yeah, the tyre's not working.
Interesting. The question is, does he pit? Because if he pits, he comes out significantly last.
Is he pushing to try and extend to softs? That's the question. Does he even have the mediums to use? He may have had to extend this. He may have had to extend this for softs in the final closing laps, or maybe he's just trying to go the distance on these tyres.
And Thomas Kilkenny looks to be struggling as well. He's dropped behind JST. Yeah, Jay did drop down to P16 at one point. I think only getting ahead of Tamas recently, and of course, Thomas Laminen. But Keegan Lutt, Zalan Bieda, and Sergio Sobrino, they've got 2 seconds behind to Richard, who's about to pass Andre Molnar, and now has the leaders in sight.
They're closing up. They're closing up with 6 laps to go. Do they have enough laps to pull back a 2-second gap? Now they just need to keep exchanging DRS as we see Cameron Dowds once again in the scrap against Daniel and does pull off the move. But did he lose the DRS? He did indeed. That rear wing is not open. He's burning the battery to try and defend what could have been a return fight from Daniel. And the V-Cab's closing up, closing up, closing up. Will there be a late braking lunge? Not quite. But he does close up very comfortably.
Sergio Sobrino got past Zalan Bieda as well. But they've already lost 8 tenths to Sprogis since turn 7, sorry.
Oh, yes.
So the gap is coming down.
This is where things get exciting. This is where the fight comes on as we get to these final closing laps. They've extended all they can do and now they set themselves up for the end game, recharging the battery, making sure you have enough to defend against any sort of attack coming your way. Do you get yourself in track position on this lap, the next lap? This is what you need to think about. Do you overtake now and sacrifice a position, or do you just sit behind comfortably and wait for that final lap? This double dose of DRS in this 6 and 7 chicane is crucial. That DRS detection point coming at you straight out of turn 7, so you can use the first DRS zone to close up, get nice and close into the chicane, stay right on that rear diffuser out of turn 7, and then bang that rear wing open once again to pass down towards turn 9. This is where the strategy comes into play.
Richard is closing in. I'm just watching the time ticking down. The 2 Mercedes. He's managed to drop Andre Molnar. Imagine saying that after the opening laps, that Richard would drop Molnar. Because I think it was those 2 who made contact, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Lund Sprogis around. But Leo Lund, right on the back of Daniel Gottschalk, who's right on the back of Cameron as well. There's about 4.5 tenths separating those 3. For what is only P9 and what will probably be a maximum of P9 with 5 racing laps to go when they next cross the line. And what, 6.5 seconds really to Joel Marquardt?
Yeah, they're not going to catch back up, but it's a fight for P9 between quite a few drivers. Lewis Blow picks up a 10 seconds speeding in the pit lane as he retires for only 4 laps of the Grand Prix to go. Just not happy with it so far. He's had enough and he's done with it. Leo Lund making a move. Had a beautiful run coming down into sector 1. There's contact, flying carbon for Ryan Grob. He's got end plate damage and he's sent into a spin. Ryan Grob's falling to the back of the order. Leo Lund losing positions. Daniel managing to maintain that P9 and Cameron Dowds looking to fight back into P10. Can he put a challenge on for it? He's getting squeezed out massively by Daniel. And we could see a 4 wide going down into turn 7. Get me back on the cameras, you evil game. Huge contact for drivers. There's squabbling, there's contact. Give me a better camera angle, please. Oh, that was terrible.
That were very bad camera angles for both of us there. But Leo Lund showing he's still being really aggressive. Cameron Dowds now going for the move on Patrick there.
Off the track!
Kenny. Oh my word. The Ferrari and the Sauber side by side. And I think the Ferrari's just been pushed off. Leo Lund up into P9 in all of this. But he's got, I think, 6 seconds of penalties. This is absolutely crazy here.
Absolute nail-biting stuff as the contact was unreal. Ryan Grob with that wing damage running wide before he comes to the final turn, picks up another 3 seconds. His race is well and truly completely damaged. He's not going to fight anything back. Leo Lund being ultra-aggressive. Look at how wide they're running. His JST also runs wide off the track. He's not got damage. We can't see any missing parts on that front wing. He's just struggling out here, maybe cooking those tyres.
Ryan Grob actually cut the turn 6-7 chicane in order to catch back up.
Oh, we have a scrap for P6 as Riccardo Benzoni's trying to go onto Andre Molnar. There's contact with Molnar and Modler as Riccardo Benzoni's contact again with Molnar and does punt him off and makes him go a little bit wide and takes a position away. Can Molnar try and challenge back? Can he retake the position? He's looking for it around the outside. Has to fall back in line maybe. No, he's still got a foot in the door. But Benzoni with the racing line gets the better traction, gets the speed to pull back on through. His standards are a little bit questionable as we get on board with a scrap once again for P9 as Joe Murphy's in the mix, passing Daniel, passing Leo Lund side by side with Leo Lund as we come down towards turn 12. Leo Lund fighting and defending for a huge contact with all three drivers. Leo Lund forced to take the escape road and barely managing to maintain that P9. They are absolutely just ultra aggressive. They've got the boxing gloves on.
Oh, Cameron Dowd's down the inside of Patrick as well. Oh, just runs him off the road. But Riyad is up into P3 and has the DRS on Sabrino.
Absolutely, they're back in the fight. He's managed to get past Alain Bieda and will now try and challenge for what could be a race victory for Rihard Sprogis as the fight at the back of the field continues. Contact and track limit violations coming everybody's way. Oh, there's a huge send from Patrick. He's adding off. He's sending it on Cameron Dowles. Huge contact and putting him into the wall.
No!
He's off the track. Oh, no.
What is that?
Terrible.
It's happened again. Another Haas. Oh, it's unfortunate. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. It looked like another wheel hook.
It was indeed. It was fully wheel hooked, and he just pulled that Haas round and over into the wall. The kick Salva couldn't get away from it.
Oh. Marquez has Marquardt has a puncture. He's got a puncture.
Oh, Marquardt's out.
It's done. He's got a rear right puncture.
Lap 27 is all he can get out of him. He pushed them as far as he could go, but the hards are done. They've had enough, and Marquardt, he's out of it.
Oh, it's so unfortunate. He was running P8 in this. Oh, God. Gottschalk going down the inside of Lund. This fight's... Oh, I've just heard a massive smack. Who hit the wall?
Oh, somebody's battered the wall and has slowed down that entire pack. Leo Lund up into P9. And they're all barely keeping themselves together. I didn't hear it. You was on board with the camera angle. You managed to hear that one. But I'm just following through with it as we see them all just fall back in line, fall back in the order. This is just dramatic.
I mean, there's been a lot of questionable moves as Marquardt still hasn't made it to the pit lane. No. But I think he's just got in now. There it is. Strap on some softs and go for fastest lap, I say, but...
With only one lap to go, we're on the penultimate lap. He's retired. He's had enough. We'll go back to the front field to see if Sabrino has anything to do on this final lap to challenge Keaton Lutt for victory. Riyad Sprogis, does he have anything in the tank to challenge for P2? If not, P3, as Sabrino closes up a little bit more on Keaton Lutt, the rival ahead. Daniel Gottschalk. I keep getting that wrong. I will learn your name. I promise I will learn your name before we go into the new season. That is something I will assign myself. But the final lap is underway, and Ryan, you can take us away.
Keaton Lutt is trying to hold on. Grob picks up another 3-second time penalty. For a second, I saw Sabrino off track and thought it was him. But Sabrino now, he's got a 5/10 gap to Keaton Lutt, and it's all down to who has more battery. Andre Molnar picks up a penalty. Ryan Grob picks up another penalty. I was very put off by that McLaren then. I saw the yellow flag and panicked. But Keaton Lutt, he looks to have a healthy gap. It looks to be enough at the minute. But it's all going to come down to turn 9. But who can be the one to be leading going into turn 12? Because realistically... that's where it ends. Turn 12, not many more realistic overtaking opportunities. And can Sabrino get close enough? No, he can't.
Flashing light, he didn't have the battery.
No battery for Sergio Sabrino. And Keaton Lutt, who started in P10 for this race, after failing to improve on his last qualifying lap, he's rounding the final sector now, past the Latifi wall, and into the penultimate turn. Tips it in for the final corner, and up to the line. Keaton Lutt wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Sergio Sabrino takes P2, and Richard Sprogis will come across the line to hold off Zalan Biedas to take third place. After a brilliant strategy to get him up the way, Joe Murphy picks up a disqualification for going the wrong way. Benzoni ends up 5th, Ryan Merdler 6th, Andre Molnar 7th, Daniel Gottschalk 8th. Hamas Kokeni has ended up P9 in all of this. JST, oh dear, that was bad. JST gets P10. Patrick P11, Ryan Grob, Leo Lund P12, Ryan Grob P13, and we just now wait for Cameron Dowd to finish the race in P14, just doing a glory lap, I think, as it was Joel Marquardt, Lewis Bloor, Thomas Laminen, Tom Roberts, Luca Ripassa, and Joe Murphy who failed to finish this race. Some of them quite controversially, but yeah.
Well, what a dramatic Abu Dhabi Social Grand Prix. That was insane. Insane to say the least. I'm going to have to skip on the interviews just for this one social race. Normally I'd try and get the drivers in for a quick little chat, but there we have it for the social race. There's nothing more to be said, nothing more to be done. We are finalised. And hopefully we'll see you next week for another one. Ryan, how was that for your debut?
Incredible racing. It seems to go very quick. I mean, obviously there were some interesting moments, I'll call it. But oh, look at that. But 2 Baltic drivers on the podium. Estonia and Latvia getting their recognition there. But yeah, brilliant race from Richard to get back up onto the podium, especially after being basically last at the end of lap 1, especially considering where he started. Leo Lund maybe needs to calm it down a bit, but still brilliant racing. It's only a social at the end of the day. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic little dramatic race. We've had drama, controversy, but what is Abu Dhabi without controversial moments? We saw Ferrari take off, quite literally, Luca Ripassa out early stages, but that was quite a good race to be running. And yeah, it's been lovely. Be sure to follow us on all our socials, World Online Racing, Twitter, YouTube, well, X as it's now known, and get yourself in the Discord. You get pings every time we go live and bring you some more spicy racing action, just like you have seen on your screen today. But for now, that is all from us. Join us in the next social race. Be sure not to miss it. The console is also running, I think, Thursday this week, social race, around the same track. You love the racing, and we love to see you there. But for now, good night.